Well, in this story, we're digging deeper into these homecoming contracts which earned federal corruption charges for the university's former board chair and his business partner. Federal prosecutors say more indictments are on the way. There are names in these contracts of university officials who no longer work at SC State but have not been charged. In February 2012, former SC State University President George Cooper fired nearly a dozen people, which made up most of his senior staff. He had campus police escort them off campus and confiscate the university's property. The reason? Cooper says violations former SLED Chief Reggie Lloyd found during an internal investigation of Cooper's closest staffers.
In the last 3 months, this university has been challenged with many issues beyond my control.
Let's just say that those problems extend from literally the board throughout the campus administration.
Turns out many of the names of the people fired last year show up on the homecoming contracts that got former board chairman Jonathan Pinson indicted. For example, former Cooper Chief of Staff Ed Givens, seen here enjoying the homecoming concert. Givens also served as the university's attorney. These contracts show he negotiated the deal between the university and WE Entertainment. That's the firm the FBI says Pinson used his position to make sure it got the $351,000 homecoming contract. I'm looking for Ed Givens. We went to Ed Givens' home to ask him what he knew about the contracts. He's not here? Okay, can I leave a message for him? Joe Perriman also lost his job in the mass firings. His name came up in a list of university officials who approved spending $351,000 in student fees on homecoming. Another approver, Dr. Charles Smith, the university's vice president of student affairs, fired last year. Then Lillian Adderson, whose signature is on nearly every expenditure of student fees associated with the homecoming contract. The feds say former board chair Jonathan Pinson took a kickback on his friend's $60,000 entertainment contract. Cooper hired Lloyd to find out how it happened and who's responsible. University records show Cooper signed off on $50,000 related to the homecoming spending, but Cooper says that's not why he resigned in March 2012.
My departure is voluntary, not forced, as I believe the steps I've taken in the last 90 days will allow the board to continue to restore integrity, trust, and academic excellence to this fine university.
All those in favor say aye.
In this July 2011 board meeting, Pinson talked about firing a board member who released a presidential evaluation, chastising that fellow board member for not following the rules.
We all come out right and ask for that board member to resign and make that a public notice and push the legislators that you can't have ethical folks on a board.
The entire time, Pinson had no idea the FBI had his phone tapped, gathering evidence against him. U.S. Assistant Attorney Mark Moore, who's leading the prosecution, says this story isn't over.
This investigation is continuing, and I would just tell you to stay tuned.
Again, the only people charged in this federal case is SC State's former board chairman Jonathan Pinson, his business partner, and the university's former chief of police, Michael Bartley. Everyone we just showed you in this story was fired. In a letter from Dr. Cooper to these fired employees, Cooper wrote they were fired because of their, quote, substantial failure to follow university rules, policies, and procedures. From Orangeburg, Jody Barr, WIS News 10.